Let's take a look at the latest information on our grain trade this Tuesday morning and see what the grain markets are doing now that we have USDA's crop progress, in other words, harvest progress numbers out as of yesterday, kind of as expected, really. Let's look at the corn market here, and I'll remind you, we did not have any overnight flash sales to talk about again, even though there were quite a few rumors flying around yesterday that helped to support the grain market. Didn't turn out to be anything announced this morning, so the market's just kind of yawning here. And right now we have December corn trading just a quarter of a cent lower. We're at 532.5 per bushel. March unchanged at 540.5. Not much going on there. In the soybean trade, with our quotes provided by bar chart here, we have November now 6 higher. We're at 1227.5. And January up 8 at 1237 per bushel. So pretty good strength in the soybean trade to get things rolling. On the wheat in Chicago, December 4 higher at 740.25, and that is taking the leadership role of all the contract months. So it's kind of front loaded here in Chicago. In Kansas City this morning, you have December 2.5 cents higher at 751.5. And just like in Chicago, you go to the deferred contracts and there you have weakness. In fact, it's actually about that much lower. And if you go to spring wheat in Minneapolis this morning, December now trading just one tick higher at 968, and that is still running, we'll call it about 9 cents off of its overnight high. Cotton market this morning, we have that new crop December contract 124 points lower, but we're still up there at 105.80 cents per pound. Let's go to the Mid-Atlantic region and check in with Ben Hushon of the Mill in Whitehall, Maryland, and find out what's going on in that part of the country this week. Ben, we always look forward to chatting with you about conditions there, and I assume you're still in the middle of harvest activity. Tim Ross had the weather map up, and I can't even see anything that would hold the harvest back at all today. It looks pretty wide open.
Good morning, Marlin. It sure is. You know, for the last couple of weeks, I've talked to you that we've been rain-free, virtually rain-free, but it's been foggy and humid. You know, it's funny to think humidity in October, but we were very humid. And then over the weekend, Saturday into Sunday, a cold front, and we finally got more of a typical fall, and it is cleared out. The weather has cleared out. Sunshine bright and early this morning. In fact, for the viewers, even sent in a few pictures of some late-night harvest last night, pretty much a full moon or really close to it, which has caused guys to change heads and finally get into soybeans in our community. We've been 10, 12 days with pretty much no sunshine, but, again, no rain, so corn harvest had continued.
Are you running into any pest problems now that you're into harvest that maybe you weren't aware of before?
You know, that's a great question. We've had a couple instances where we've been called, guys have gotten into the center of the fields where they couldn't see some small areas, but so far we're not seeing anything pest-wise in the corn or beans. But what has happened to us, if you remember back 4-6 weeks ago, actually the very beginning of September, long ago than I remembered, armyworm moved into our area, which we're not used to. I've been doing agronomy work over 30 years, and I had never seen it. 80-year-old farmers had never seen it back in the first week of September. Well, they're back. Marlin, we have folks planted barley this fall that was taken out. Most recently, and I tried to go get a picture, we had a grower up in York County planted rye. It was up about 6 inches, and they just wiped out 60 acres of it that he just disced down and replanted to hopefully bury some of them. And pretty much what we said the 1st of September, it's going to take some really cold nights, and we still have only had one night in the 40s, and that was just last night.
Ben, I know I need to run, but I do have a quick question for you. On the fertilizer availability, how is it running where you are? Is it a big concern? Have you run into a shortage yet or not?
Big concern. Could talk about that for a long time whenever you want to. Big concern. At this point, we're okay on what guys need in the fall. But again, a lot of our work is in the Chesapeake Bay, Maryland. Doesn't allow nitrogen and phosphorus, are extremely limiting in the fall. So We're okay, but boy, has the worry and anxiety begun earlier than I have ever seen it for spring 22 fertilizer supply.
All right. Well, we'll keep tabs on that with you, and we'll see how the market is on that short supply fertilizer as we head into next year. All right. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it. You have a great week out there. Ben Hushon of the Mill in Whitehall, Maryland. We'll be back. I'll get you updated on cattle and hog markets right after this.